This symbol has been revealing itself to humanity for thousands of years. What if this isn't just sacred art, but a scientific diagram of creation itself? Some traditions call the Sri Yantra the most powerful symbol in the world, a kind of spiritual motherboard that encodes how reality unfolds from stillness into form. A key that unlocks both the universe around you and the universe within you. Stay with this, because once you understand what this pattern reveals, it can quietly rewire the way you perceive every atom of existence, including your own soul, your own thoughts, and even that part of you that wonders if any of this is real. It has traveled across millennia, carved into temple walls, painted in hidden sanctuaries, etched into copper plates buried beneath the earth to radiate unseen harmony. It shows up in India, whispers through patterns in China and Egypt, appears in meditation halls, and, strangely, even in modern crop circles and laboratory experiments with vibration. If you've ever felt like certain shapes do something to you just by looking at them, this episode is your invitation to lean all the way in. Let's start simple. Picture 9 interlocking triangles. 4 rise upward, sharp, steady, like beams of clear light. This is consciousness, Shiva, the vertical impulse to wake up. 5 flow downward, fluid, receptive, like a cosmic waterfall. This is energy, Shakti, the creative power that makes galaxies, bodies, emotions, and yes, your group chats. They cross, overlap, and merge in a single central point, the Bindu, the still heart of infinite motion, the 0 point where everything begins and returns. From those 9 triangles, 43 smaller triangles appear, like a fractal mandala of creation. Extend the pattern upward in 3 dimensions, and it becomes a mountain. Mahameru, the cosmic axis connecting earth and heaven, matter and spirit. Flatten it into 2 dimensions, and it becomes the Sri Yantra, often called the Queen of Yantras, the living blueprint of the cosmos. You are literally looking at a picture of how the one becomes the many, and how the many can find their way back. Here's where it gets even weirder and more beautiful. Every culture that encountered this pattern claimed it somehow came from elsewhere, gifted by gods, downloaded by sages, or revealed in trances and visions. But what if it didn't arrive from somewhere else at all? What if it rose from within, from the deep memory of consciousness itself? Many mystics say this geometry isn't really invented, it's remembered. Like a song you've never heard, but somehow know the words to. Take a moment and check in. When you look at the Sri Yantra, even just in your mind's eye, what do you feel? Calm, curiosity, resistance, nothing at all? Whatever shows up is data from your own inner world. Drop a note in the comments. Have you ever meditated on a symbol or mandala and felt something shift, even slightly? Your experience might mirror someone else's and help them trust their own subtle perceptions. Because as this journey unfolds, you'll discover that the Sri Yantra isn't just a symbol out there. It's a mirror of the geometry already pulsing in your breath, your heartbeat, and the space behind your thoughts. And once that clicks, you may never look at a triangle or your own life the same way again. The upward triangles are Shiva, the silent witness, pure awareness that never moves even as galaxies spin. The downward triangles are Shakti, the creative pulse, the wild, luminous power that moves worlds, relationships, emotions, and probably your coffee cravings. When they interlace, the universe begins to breathe. Every atom, every heartbeat, every birth and death is this dance repeating itself. You can feel it in your own life whenever stillness and movement meet. Whenever you watch an emotion rise and fall without getting lost in it. That moment when you notice, oh, I'm feeling anger, instead of, I am so angry. That's Shiva and Shakti meeting in real time. This is the marriage of opposites. It takes the peace of presence, or Shiva, as we're calling it here, to notice and hold the emotional and mental movements inside without identifying with them. In the Yantra, the masculine and feminine are not rivals, not a cosmic tug of war. They are 2 rhythms of the same infinite song. The sharp ascending triangles of Shiva say, wake up. The soft descending triangles of Shakti say, live, create, feel. Together they form a kind of spiritual circuitry for enlightenment in the middle of real life, not far away from it. Dr. David Hawkins described consciousness as existing in calibrated levels, or frequencies. Lower frequencies contract into shame, guilt, fear. Higher frequencies expand into courage, love, joy, and peace. The Sri Yantra shows that same ascent not in numbers, but in light and line. Each triangle is like a note in the scale of awakening, rising until geometry becomes grace, until what looked like lines on a page starts to feel like a living presence. To meditate upon this is to remember the divine marriage already happening inside you, the union of thought and silence, doing and being, self and source. Take a second right now. Can you sense both a still you that's just watching and a moving you that feels, reacts, dreams? That's your inner Shiva and Shakti. If you want, share in the comments. Where in your life do you feel this dance the most? Stillness in the middle of chaos, or creativity spilling out of deep quiet? Your reflection might help someone else recognize their own inner union. The mystic Ramakrishna once said, "I am the machine, you are the operator." The Sri Yantra encodes this exact relationship, but with a twist. It is not just a picture of reality, it is a vehicle for reshaping it. The pattern, the lines, angles, and symmetry is inert copper, ink, or pixels, until awareness sits in the driver's seat and uses it to travel toward a more beautiful, aligned, and intentionally crafted life. Look closely and you realize the same is true of your reality. Your circumstances are like shifting geometry. Events, bodies, and even memories arranging and rearranging themselves into patterns. They begin to shimmer with new meaning and possibility only when consciousness, you, enters the field with intention. In that moment, the Sri Yantra stops being wall art and starts becoming a cockpit for manifestation, a way to aim your attention, emotion, and will toward what you actually want to experience. Modern physics calls it the observer effect. The act of observing and measuring changes what is observed. Ancient sages called it the play of Maya, the grand illusion that hides truth by dazzling you with everything else, then daring you to see through it. The Sri Yantra is a map through that illusion, and also a vessel. As you move your awareness from the outer squares toward the bindu at the center, you are rehearsing the journey from scattered, reactive living into focused, coherent creation. So when you contemplate it, don't just look at the yantra, travel with it. Let it look back at you and ask, what reality are you choosing to radiate today? Visualize your intentions resting in the bindu, already whole, while the triangles around it organize your life into the structure needed to support them. Treat the Sri Yantra as your subtle spacecraft, steering you from default timelines into a more consciously designed existence. If you try this, even for a few minutes a day, notice what shifts, your choices, your mood, the kind of opportunities that start appearing. Then come back and share in the comments, what did you program into the yantra, and how did life respond? Your experiment with this ancient vehicle might be the exact roadmap someone else needs. Now we move from poetry into practice. The Sri Yantra is built of 9 avaranas, 9 enclosures or gateways, and each one mirrors a stage of your inner evolution. Think of this as the user manual hidden inside the symbol, a step-by-step map for moving from ordinary life into an aligned, intentionally manifested reality. As you listen, you are not just learning about a diagram. You are secretly rehearsing a journey your consciousness already knows how to take. After this, we will go even deeper into what lies beyond the lines and names, and how the yantra becomes a living, breathing presence in your life. 1. The outer square, Upura, 4 walls, 4 gates. This is the earth realm, the boundaries of time, space, and matter, the level 1 of incarnation. Here you learn stability, grounding, and how to live in the physical world without becoming lost in it. The 3 concentric circles within it echo past, present, and future, reminding you that clock time is just a loop. Your soul is temporarily walking. Every time you choose presence over panic, you are already stepping outside that loop. 2. The 16-petal. Lotus. This ring is the field of desire, sometimes called the fulfiller of all hopes. 16 currents pull the soul toward experience, through your senses, your emotions, your imagination. To be human is to want is to move, and movement is life itself. The petals remind you that desire is not the enemy, unconscious desire is. When you bring clarity and honesty to what you want, this layer becomes a compass for manifesting a reality that actually fits your soul, not just your conditioning. 3. The 8-petal. Lotus fulfillment comes, but the heart stirs again. Traditional teachings link this lotus to key activities and energies: speech, motion, attraction, equanimity, showing how life keeps inviting you to refine how you use your power. The lesson here: as long as your joy depends on getting the next thing, you will never truly rest. True joy arises when you discover what wants to move through you, not just what you can acquire for you. This is where manifestation shifts from how do I get to how do I serve what I really am. 4. the 14 triangles. Here you enter the realms of many worlds and many states of being. Think of these 14 triangles as lifetimes, identities, timelines, rising and falling, expanding and contracting. Birth and death stop looking like punishments and start to feel like the universe's inhale and exhale. Each cycle is another chance to remember more quickly, love more deeply, and create more consciously. 5. The outer 10 triangles. At this level, obstacles show up, not as cosmic pranks, but as intelligent resistance training for the soul. Friction polishes you. Patience, humility, and compassion become your main tools. In manifestation language, this is where delays and detours either trigger old stories or turn into proof that life is rearranging itself in your favor, just on a schedule you don't control. 6. The inner 10 triangles. Here, karma refines into dharma. You are no longer just reacting to life, you are responding from a sense of purpose. The seeker becomes the servant, of truth, of beauty, of the divine pattern, trying to express through you. What you intend to manifest now aligns more closely with what heals, uplifts, and harmonizes, not just what soothes your ego. 7. The 8 smaller triangles. These are the gurus, the teachers, 8 facets of wisdom that strip away layer after layer of ignorance. At this point, even suffering becomes sacred instruction. The question shifts from, why is this happening to me, to what is this teaching me? If you look back at your life, you may already sense which people, crises, or synchronicities have been your 8 teachers so far. 8. The inner triangle. 3 points: creation, preservation, dissolution. If the tip faces downward, it is the path of the householder, fully embracing life, relationships, money, art, all of it, as offerings. If it faces upward, it is the renunciate, turning away from the world to merge directly into the absolute. Both are holy. One path dives into experience, the other dissolves it, but both ultimately lead home. The fact that you are listening to this at all suggests your life is already leaning toward one of these, even if quietly. 9. The Bindu, point of light. All motion ends here. The Bindu is Sat, existence, Chit awareness, and Ananda bliss fused into a single radiant point. This is you, unveiled. The witness behind every role, every desire, every gate. Resting here, even for a breath, is like remembering your original setting before the world hit shuffle. Linger here for a moment. Feel how every one of these gateways is not just in some diagram. They are turning inside your own body, your own day. Through sleep, through love, through silence, through every tiny death and rebirth in each breath. Then as we move into beyond the lines and names and a living symbol, you. At some point, every seeker hits the same realization. The map is not the destination. The Sri Yantra isn't ultimately a thing to worship, but a luminous mirror that reveals the worshipper. When you close your eyes after gazing at it, the pattern still shimmers inside your mind. When you relax the mind, it quietly glows within your heart. And when even the heart becomes still, the geometry dissolves, leaving only awareness, pure and self-luminous, like the Bindu, without any lines around it. This is what David Hawkins pointed to as non-duality, the level of consciousness where there is no longer a separate seeker and sought. At this stage, the yantra, the meditator, and the divine are no longer 3. They blur into one continuum of light, one field of being, looking at itself. In the next and final movement, this realization leaves the meditation cushion and walks into your kitchen, your inbox, your relationships, because a symbol only fulfills its purpose when it starts living through you. So what does all of this actually mean for your daily life? It means the universe isn't just happening to you, it is resonating with you, echoing the quality of your consciousness back in events, conversations, and coincidences. Every thought is a line on your inner yantra, sketching out patterns that either harmonize or distort your field. Every small act of kindness adds symmetry to that inner geometry, while every moment of genuine gratitude turns another triangle toward the center, toward coherence. You don't need to vanish into a Himalayan cave to practice this. You can live it in the way you breathe before you react, in the way you listen without interrupting, in the way you forgive even when your ego would rather keep score. Each time you choose love over fear, honesty over pretense, presence over autopilot, the lines inside you glow a little brighter, and your reality starts to reorganize around that light. If you feel like playing with this, try treating one ordinary day as if you are walking inside your own Sri Yantra, and tell the story in the comments of what you noticed. The Sri Yantra has been called one of the world's most powerful symbols, not because it controls reality, but because it reveals it. It shows that everything, every joy, every sorrow, every birth, every ending, is geometry in motion, tracing one eternal pattern, love slowly remembering itself through form. If something in this journey opened even a small doorway in you, share your reflections below. Those words often become invisible bridges for others, and they will be seen, felt, and yes, hearted. Before you sleep tonight, close your eyes. See the outer lines, the lotus petals, the triangles, the single glowing center. Feel them aligning with your breath, as if your whole being is quietly clicking into place, and know you are both the pattern and the stillness inside it, the dance and the dancer, the geometry of God made visible for one brief, miraculous lifetime.